Sophia had just finished lighting the last candle when Derek walked through the door, and the first thing he said wasn't, "Happy anniversary," or even, "Hello." It was, "We need to talk about opening up our marriage." She stood there in the red dress she'd spent 2 weeks finding, the one that hugged every curve, the one she'd hoped would remind him why he married her in the past. The dining table behind her was set with his favorite meal, still warm from the oven. 5 candles flickered between them, one for each year they'd been married. She'd even bought lingerie for later, something lacy and expensive that was currently making her feel like the world's biggest fool. "I'm sorry, what?" Her voice came out steady even though her heart had just dropped into her stomach. Derek loosened his tie with that infuriatingly casual gesture, like he'd just announced he'd be working late, not detonating their entire marriage. "I've been thinking about this for a while. We've grown apart, Sophia. You're always at the gallery, I'm expanding the company. This way we both get what we want and keep the life we've built." The candles kept flickering. The food kept getting cold. And Sophia kept standing there in her stupid red dress, realizing she'd been performing a one-woman show in a marriage where her husband had already left the theater. "What you mean is you've already been sleeping with someone else and want my permission retroactively." Her laugh was bitter, sharp enough to cut. "How long, Derek? How long have you been cheating?" His silence was the answer. She reached behind her, turned off the stove where she'd been keeping the wine warm, because he liked mulled wine, because she'd remembered, because she'd actually cared, and grabbed her purse from the counter. "Where are you going? We need to discuss the logistics." "Logistics?" She spun around, and whatever he saw in her face made him step back. "You want to discuss logistics? Here's the only logistics that matter. You just asked your wife for an open marriage on your anniversary while she's standing in front of a dinner she spent all day cooking, wearing a dress she bought specifically for you. So here's my answer, go to hell, Derek. And when you get there, tell them Sophia Chen sent you." She walked out, and somewhere between the elevator and the lobby, somewhere between keeping it together and falling apart, Sophia Chen made a decision. If Derek wanted to play games, she'd show him what a real player looked like. She just had no idea that decision would lead her straight into the arms of the most dangerous man in Seoul. If you're already hooked and ready for this revenge romance roller coaster, hit that subscribe button right now because trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of what's about to go down. Drop a comment telling me what you do in Sophia's situation, and let's get into this story. 24 hours after the worst anniversary of her life, Sophia sat in an exclusive lounge in Gangnam, nursing her second glass of wine and questioning every life choice that had led her here. Her best friend Jade had dragged her out, insisting that moping in a hotel room wasn't the move. "You look like someone killed your cat," Jade said, flagging down a waiter. "Stop it. You're gorgeous, you're successful, and you're finally free of that mediocre man who never deserved you anyway." "He wasn't always mediocre," Sophia muttered, but even she didn't believe it anymore. Looking back, Derek had been showing signs for months. The late nights, the sudden business trips, the way he barely looked at her even when they were in the same room. "Girl, please. I never liked him. Always thought he was intimidated by you." Jade grabbed her hand. "You know what you need? A rebound. Someone completely opposite. Someone who'll make Derek realize he fumbled the baddest woman in Seoul. I'm not looking for revenge through another man." "Who said anything about revenge? I'm talking about reclaiming your power." Jade's eyes suddenly widened, looking past Sophia's shoulder. "And speaking of power, don't look now, but I think someone very powerful just noticed you." Of course Sophia looked. She turned, and her breath caught. The man sat in the VIP section, separated from the rest of the lounge by frosted glass and what appeared to be several very serious-looking men in black suits. But none of them mattered. All she could see was him. Sharp jawline, dark hair swept back perfectly, eyes that even from a distance seemed to pierce through everything and everyone. He wore a black suit that probably cost more than her car, and he was looking directly at her with an intensity that made her skin heat. "That's Kong Miho," Jade whispered, her voice tinged with something between awe and fear. "Oh my God, Sophia, that's Kong Miho and he's staring at you. Who? Who? Jade grabbed her arm hard enough to bruise. Only the most powerful CEO in Seoul. Owns half the real estate, runs the most exclusive businesses, and rumor has it, has connections that make people disappear. He's basically untouchable. You're being dramatic. Am I? Why is he getting up? Oh God, he's coming over here. Sophia's heart started racing as the man stood, said something to his companions, and walked straight toward their table. He moved like a predator, smooth and deliberate, and everyone in the lounge seemed to sense it, conversations faltering as he passed. He stopped at their table, and up close, he was even more devastating. There was a scar, faint but visible, along his left cheekbone. His eyes were dark, calculating, but there was something else there too. Something that made her unable to look away. You've been crying, he said in Korean, his voice deep and accented with Seoul's upper district. Someone made you cry. It wasn't a question. Sophia straightened her spine, switching to Korean fluently. I don't cry over people who don't deserve it. His lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. Good answer. He gestured to the empty chair. May I? Jade nodded so enthusiastically Sophia thought her friend's head might fall off. Yes. Absolutely. I was just leaving actually. You were? Sophia shot her a look. Yep. Got a thing. That thing I mentioned. Bye. Jade grabbed her purse and practically ran, leaving Sophia alone with possibly the most intimidating man she'd ever met. Kong Miho sat down without breaking eye contact. I'm Miho. I know. Apparently, you're famous. Infamous, more accurately. He signaled the waiter, who appeared instantly. Bring us the Chateau Margaux 2009. After the waiter scurried off, he turned back to her. And you are? Wondering why a man with your reputation is interested in a woman who's having the worst week of her life. Because a woman who's having the worst week of her life and still has that much fire in her eyes is worth knowing. He leaned back, studying her. Also, I saw you walk in yesterday. You sat in the corner, you ordered one drink, you stared at your phone for 2 hours like you were trying to set it on fire with your mind, and then you left. Today you're back. That tells me a story. You're very observant. I'm very interested. The wine arrived, expensive enough that Sophia could practically taste the price tag. Miho poured for both of them with practiced ease. Tell me what happened. Why would I tell a complete stranger my problems? Because strangers have no reason to judge, no history to color their advice, and in my case, resources to make problems disappear. His eyes glinted dangerously. So tell me, Sophia Chen, what did your husband do? She froze with the glass halfway to her lips. How do you know my name? How do you know I'm married? You're wearing a wedding ring that you keep touching like you want to throw it away but can't quite commit. You're Sophia Chen, owner of the Obsidian Gallery in Itaewon. You've been married for 5 years to Derek Chen, CFO of Chen Industries. You have no children, 2 gallery locations, and a reputation for discovering exceptional artists. You also have a husband who's been seen multiple times with his secretary at hotels he thinks are discreet. He took a sip of wine. They're not. Sophia's hand trembled slightly. You had me investigated. I had you researched. There's a difference. Investigation implies you did something wrong. Research is simply due diligence when I'm interested in someone. This is insane. You're insane. Probably. He smiled then, a real smile that transformed his entire face. But you're still here. She should leave. Every logical brain cell screamed at her to leave. This man was dangerous, possibly criminal, definitely too intense. But when was the last time someone had looked at her like she was the only person in the world? When had Derek ever smiled at her like her presence alone made him happy? He asked for an open marriage, she heard herself say. Last night. Our anniversary. He wants to sleep with other people and keep our life intact like I'm some business arrangement. Miho's expression went cold, the temperature at the table dropping several degrees. And what did you say? I left. Good. And what do you want to do now? Honestly? I want to make him regret ever taking me for granted. I want him to see what he lost. She stopped, realizing how petty it sounded. Revenge, Miho finished. You want revenge. There's no shame in that, Sophia. Someone hurt you, betrayed you, disrespected you in the worst way possible. Wanting them to feel even a fraction of that pain is perfectly human. Is that what you do? Take revenge on people who wrong you? Among other things. He refilled her glass. But I'm very good at it. And I'd be very good at helping you. Why would you help me? You don't know me. Not yet. The way he said it sent shivers down her spine. But I'd like to. And your husband's company has been trying to acquire some of my properties for months. I've been looking for a reason to make his life difficult. This seems like perfect timing. You want to use me to get back at Derek? No. Miho's voice was firm. I want to help you reclaim your power, and if that coincides with business interests, even better. But make no mistake, Sophia. My interest in you has nothing to do with your husband. He's simply an unfortunate obstacle I'm happy to remove. This was crazy. Everything about this was crazy. But as Sophia looked into Miho's dark eyes, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Wanted. Seen. Alive. What exactly are you proposing? His smile was wicked. That you let me take you to dinner tomorrow night. Somewhere very public, very exclusive, where word will definitely get back to your husband. Let him see that you've moved on spectacularly. Then we'll see how he likes the open marriage he requested. That's petty. That's strategic. Miho pulled out his phone. What's your number? She should say no. She should go back to her hotel, call a lawyer, handle this like a mature adult. Instead, she rattled off her number and watched as he saved it. Tomorrow night. 8 o'clock. Wear something that'll make him sick when he sees the photos. Miho stood, buttoned his jacket. And Sophia? Stop touching that ring. You're worth more than a symbol of a man who didn't value you. He walked away, leaving her alone with half a bottle of extremely expensive wine and a head full of dangerous possibilities. Jade materialized from wherever she'd been hiding. Please tell me you got his number. He got mine. Even better. Oh my God, Sophia, do you know what you're getting into? Not even a little bit. Sophia finally pulled off her wedding ring, setting it on the table. But I'm about to find out. The next evening, Sophia stood in front of her hotel mirror, questioning everything. The dress was red, fitted, with a neckline that was sophisticated but suggestive. Her hair was styled in soft curls, her makeup flawless. She looked good. Better than good. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Downstairs. Don't rush. Anticipation is half the pleasure. Of course Miho would say something like that. She grabbed her clutch, took a deep breath, and headed down. The lobby was busy with the usual hotel traffic, but she spotted him immediately. He stood near the entrance in a navy suit, talking on the phone in rapid Korean. When he saw her, he ended the call without a goodbye, his eyes traveling over her in a way that made her feel like the dress was worth every penny. Stunning, he said simply, offering his arm. Shall we? The car waiting outside was a black Mercedes, sleek and expensive. The driver opened the door, and Miho guided her in with a hand on her lower back. The touch was brief but burned through the fabric of her dress. Where are we going? She asked as they pulled into Seoul traffic. Myeongdong. There's a restaurant on the top floor of the Lotte building. Very exclusive, very visible. Your husband's business partner has a standing reservation 2 tables away from ours every Friday night. You're very thorough. I didn't build an empire by being careless. He poured champagne from the car's built-in bar. To new beginnings and satisfying endings. She clinked her glass against his. This feels surreal. Yesterday my life was falling apart. Today I'm in a car with a man I just met, plotting to make my husband jealous. Is that what you think this is? Isn't it? Maybe it started that way. Miho's gaze was intense. But I don't do anything halfway, Sophia. So whatever this becomes, it'll be real. That I can promise you. Before she could respond, her phone rang. Derek's name flashed on the screen. Answer it, Miho said. Put it on speaker. She did, her heart racing. What do you want, Derek? Where are you? Her husband's voice was irritated. I went by the gallery. They said you've been out for 2 days. We need to talk about the separation logistics. Separation? I thought you wanted an open marriage. You left. I assumed. You assumed wrong. You want an open marriage? Fine. We have an open marriage. I'm actually out right now. On a date. The silence was satisfying. A date. Yes. A date. Isn't that what you wanted? Freedom to see other people. Sophia, don't be ridiculous. This isn't, you can't just. Can't what, Derek? Do exactly what you asked for. I have to go. My date is waiting. She hung up, her hands shaking. Miho took the phone gently, setting it aside, then lifted her hand to his lips. The kiss on her knuckles was soft, deliberate. Breathe. You did perfectly. He's going to be furious. Good. Let him be furious. Let him feel 1/10 of what you felt. Miho's thumb stroked over her knuckles. And try to enjoy tonight. Revenge is a dish best served with excellent wine and company. The restaurant was everything he promised. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, soft lighting, the kind of quiet luxury that screamed money. The host greeted Miho by name, led them to the best table, and Sophia didn't miss how every eye in the restaurant followed them. People are staring, she whispered as they sat. Let them. By tomorrow morning, half of Seoul's elite will know I had dinner with a beautiful woman. By tomorrow afternoon, your husband will know. By tomorrow evening, he'll be calling you again. Miho ordered for them in rapid Korean, then turned his attention fully to her. Now, tell me something real. Not about your husband, not about galleries or business. Something true about Sophia. She was taken aback by the question. Like what? Like why art? Why galleries? No one ever asked her that. Derek certainly never had. My grandmother was a painter. Not famous or anything, just painted for herself. But she saw the world in colors and shapes that most people missed. She taught me to look deeper, to find beauty in unexpected places. When she died, she left me her collection and a little money. I opened the first gallery to honor her. To give other artists the chance to be seen. You loved her. She was the only person who ever really saw me. Sophia blinked back sudden tears. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Because you've been holding everything in, being strong, not letting yourself feel. Miho reached across the table, his fingers threading through hers. You're allowed to be sad and angry and hurt. You're also allowed to move forward. Both things can be true. The food arrived, exquisite courses that tasted like art on a plate. They talked about everything and nothing. His childhood in Seoul, her years studying in New York, favorite books, worst travel experiences, dreams they'd had and dreams they'd given up on. I wanted to be a musician, Miho admitted over dessert. Piano, specifically. I was good too. But my father had other plans. The family business needed an heir, and second sons don't get to chase dreams. Do you still play? Sometimes. Late at night when I can't sleep. He smiled. Maybe I'll play for you someday. I'd like that. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his expression darkening. Interesting. Your husband just called 3 of my business contacts trying to find out who I am and why I'm with you. That was fast. I told you. Visibility was the point. Miho's smile was sharp. And he just walked in. Sophia's head whipped around. Sure enough, Derek stood at the host stand, scanning the restaurant. He wasn't alone. The woman with him was young, blonde, wearing a dress too tight and too short for this venue. His secretary, no doubt. He brought her, Sophia breathed, rage flooding through her. He actually brought her here. Perfect. Miho stood smoothly, pulling out Sophia's chair. Dance with me. What? There's a small floor near the piano. Dance with me. Let him watch. The pianist was playing something slow and jazzy. Miho led her to the floor, pulling her close with one hand on her waist, the other cradling her hand against his chest. This close, she could smell his cologne, feel the solid warmth of him, see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes. You're tense, he murmured, his breath warm against her ear. Relax. Pretend it's just us. Kind of hard when my husband is 30 feet away with his mistress. Then pretend I'm the only man in the world. Pretend we met under different circumstances. Pretend this is real. His hand tightened on her waist. It wouldn't be hard for me. She looked up at him, and the intensity in his gaze stole her breath. This was supposed to be fake, strategic, revenge through optics. But the way he was looking at her, the way her heart was racing, the way everything else faded away, none of that felt fake. Miho. He's watching, Miho interrupted softly. And he looks like he wants to kill me. So I'm going to give him a real reason. He leaned down, and Sophia knew she should stop this, should step back, should remember this was all for show. But when his lips met hers, soft and demanding and perfect, she didn't think at all. She just kissed him back, her hands sliding up to his shoulders, his fingers tangling in her hair, and for the first time in years, she felt something other than numb. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, the restaurant had gone nearly silent. That, Miho said quietly, was not for show. Before Sophia could respond, Derek's voice cut through the moment. Sophia. What the hell do you think you're doing? Hey loves, if you're enjoying this messy, delicious revenge romance so far, do me a favor and smash that like button. And drop a comment telling me, is Miho moving too fast or is this exactly the energy Sophia needs? Let me know your thoughts and let's get back to the chaos. Sophia turned slowly, letting Miho keep his arm around her waist. Derek stood 3 feet away, his face red, his fists clenched. The blonde woman hovered behind him, looking uncomfortable. Derek, Sophia said coolly. I could ask you the same thing. Who's your friend? That's not, this isn't what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like you're on a date. Which is fine. We have an open marriage, remember? You asked for one. I didn't think you'd actually, with him. Derek's eyes cut to Miho with pure hatred. Do you know who this man is? What he's involved in? I know he treats me with more respect in one evening than you have in 5 years. Sophia felt Miho's hand squeeze her waist gently, a silent support. Now if you'll excuse us, we were having a lovely evening before you interrupted. Sophia, don't be stupid. This man is dangerous. He's not. Careful, Chen. Miho's voice was soft but carried an edge that made Derek step back. You're speaking about my date with a disrespect I don't appreciate. You wanted your freedom. She took hers. Don't be a hypocrite about it now. Stay out of this. This is between me and my wife. Your wife who you brought to tears asking for an open marriage so you could legitimize your affair. That wife? Miho smiled, and it was terrifying. No, I don't think I will stay out of it. In fact, I think I'm very much in it now. Derek's face went pale. You can't, I'll. You'll what? Make a scene in Seoul's most exclusive restaurant. Call your lawyers. Please do. I'd love to see how that works out for you. Miho gestured dismissively. Now leave. You're ruining the ambience. For a moment, Sophia thought Derek might actually swing at him. But something in Miho's expression, something cold and dangerous, made her husband back down. He looked at her one last time, something like regret in his eyes, but it was too little, too late. This isn't over, Derek muttered. You're right, Sophia said clearly. It's not. My lawyer will be contacting you about the divorce. You can keep the penthouse. I'll keep my dignity and my galleries. And Derek? That open marriage you wanted? Consider it closed. She turned her back on him, on the blonde woman, on 5 years of her life that suddenly felt like wasted time. Miho guided her back to their table, pulled out her chair, and sat across from her like nothing had happened. You handled that beautifully, he said, refilling her wine. I'm shaking. You're strong. There's a difference. He raised his glass to closing doors and opening windows. She laughed despite herself. That's cheesy. But true. His smile was warm now, genuine. How do you feel? Honestly? Terrified. Exhilarated. Free. Like I just jumped off a cliff and I'm not sure if I'm falling or flying. Maybe both. Maybe that's what freedom feels like. Miho's phone buzzed again. He glanced at it, his expression hardening. I need to take this. It's business. Will you be alright for a moment? I'll survive. He stepped away, and Sophia sat alone with her thoughts and her wine. What was she doing? She'd just publicly humiliated her husband, kissed a man she barely knew, and committed to a divorce she hadn't fully processed. This was insane. This was reckless. This was the most alive she'd felt in years. Her phone buzzed. Multiple messages from Derek, ranging from angry to apologetic to threatening. She deleted them all without reading past the first lines. Then messages from Jade, all caps and excessive emojis, demanding details. She smiled and sent back a simple, I'll call you tomorrow. Miho returned, but something had shifted in his demeanor. He looked tense, dangerous in a way that reminded her she really didn't know this man. Is everything okay? She asked. Business complications. Nothing you need to worry about. He signaled for the check. I should get you back to your hotel. I have something I need to handle tonight. The drive back was quieter, tension humming under the surface. When they pulled up to her hotel, Miho walked her to the lobby, his hand on her lower back again. Tonight was, Sophia started. The beginning, he interrupted. That kiss, that connection, it wasn't fake for me, Sophia. I need you to know that. I know. It wasn't fake for me either. But you're scaring me a little right now. What kind of business do you really do, Miho? He was quiet for a long moment, his thumb tracing her jawline. The kind that keeps you safe. The kind that makes sure men like your husband face consequences. The kind that isn't always legal but is always just. He leaned down, kissed her forehead. I'll call you tomorrow. Lock your door. Don't let anyone in except hotel staff you recognize. You're really scaring me now. Good. Fear keeps you careful. I'll have someone watching the hotel tonight. Just as a precaution. Miho. Trust me, Sophia. Can you do that? She looked into his eyes, saw something fierce and protective and dangerous, and made another insane decision. Yes. His smile was brilliant. Good. Sleep well. Dream of me. He left, and Sophia rode the elevator to her room in a daze. She'd barely kicked off her heels when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Mrs. Chen. A woman's voice, nervous. You don't know me, but I work with your husband. I think you should know something. That woman he's been seeing. She's pregnant. And she's telling everyone the baby is his. The phone slipped from Sophia's fingers, clattering to the floor. The next morning, Sophia woke up to her phone ringing insistently. She'd barely slept, the unknown woman's words echoing in her head all night. Pregnant. Derek's mistress was pregnant. Hello, she answered groggily. Good morning. Miho's voice was warm, like sunshine. How did you sleep? I didn't. I got a call last night. Apparently, Derek's secretary is pregnant and claiming the baby is his. Silence. Then, give me her name. What? No, Miho, I'm not. Her name, Sophia. I don't even know it. I just know she's blonde, young, and apparently very fertile. Sophia laughed bitterly. He wanted kids. I wanted to wait until the galleries were more established. I guess he found someone who'd give him what he wanted. Or someone who saw an opportunity and took it. Miho's voice was hard. I'll look into it. In the meantime, get dressed. I'm taking you somewhere. Where? Somewhere that'll make you smile. You need that today. An hour later, she was in his car again, heading out of Seoul toward the mountains. Miho drove this time, no driver, just them and the open road. He'd traded his suit for dark jeans and a fitted black shirt, and somehow looked even more dangerous than before. Where are we going? She asked again. You'll see. Be patient. They drove for another 30 minutes, winding up mountain roads until they reached a traditional Korean house, beautiful and secluded, overlooking a valley of trees. This is mine, Miho said, helping her out of the car. When the city gets too loud, I come here. No one knows about this place except my most trusted people. And now you. Why are you showing me? Because I want you to have a place you can escape to. Because I want you to see that I'm not just the dangerous man in the expensive suit. Because I want you to know me. He led her inside, and it was beautiful. Traditional meets modern, clean lines and warm wood, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the forest beyond. It's beautiful, Sophia breathed. Wait until you see the best part. He took her hand, led her through the house to a back room, and opened the door. A piano. A beautiful grand piano, polished black, sitting in a room designed for music. You said you'd play for me someday, Sophia said softly. Someday is today. Miho sat at the bench, patted the space beside him. She sat, and he began to play. The music was haunting, beautiful, sad and hopeful all at once. She watched his hands move over the keys, strong and sure, and felt tears slide down her cheeks. Not for Derek, not for her failed marriage, but for the beauty of the moment, for the gift of being seen by someone who truly looked. When the last note faded, Miho turned to her, wiped her tears with his thumbs. Why are you crying? Because that was the most beautiful thing anyone's ever done for me. Then I'll play for you every day if it means I get to see you like this. Raw. Real. Mine. Miho, I'm still married. I'm a mess. I'm perfect. You're perfect. And your husband was a fool. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. This kiss was different from last night. Slower, deeper, full of promise and heat and something that felt dangerous and inevitable. His hand slid into her hair, angling her head for better access. She pressed closer, her hands fisting in his shirt, and somewhere between one heartbeat and the next, the kiss went from sweet to consuming. He lifted her easily, settling her on his lap, her legs straddling his hips, and she gasped at the feel of him beneath her. We should stop, she whispered against his lips. Tell me to stop and I will. His hands ran down her back, pulling her closer. Tell me you don't want this and I'll take you back to Seoul right now. I can't. I want, she broke off, kissing him again, and his response was immediate and intense. They ended up on the floor, somehow, the piano at their backs, their hands exploring, clothes loosening, breathing ragged. Miho's lips traced her neck, her collarbone, the edge of her dress, and every touch felt like fire. "Tell me to stop," he repeated, his voice rough. "Don't stop. Please don't stop." What happened next was inevitable, passionate, intense. He made love to her like she was precious and breakable and strong all at once. And when she shattered in his arms, his name on her lips, she felt something click into place. Something that felt like coming home. Afterward, they lay tangled together, her head on his chest, his fingers tracing patterns on her skin. "I should feel guilty," she whispered. "Do you?" "No. That's the problem. I feel free." "Then don't look for problems where there aren't any." He kissed her head. "You're getting divorced. You're allowed to move on. You're allowed to be happy." "Is that what you make me? Happy? I'm going to try. Every single day, I'm going to try." His phone buzzed, and he sighed. "I have to check this. It might be important." He read the message, and his entire body went rigid. "Get dressed. Now." "What? What's wrong?" "Your husband just filed a restraining order against me. Claims I'm threatening him, interfering with his business, and trying to steal his wife." Miho's laugh was cold. "He has no idea what I'm actually capable of when someone threatens what's mine. I'm not yours. Aren't you?" He stood, pulling her up, his eyes fierce. "Tell me that didn't mean anything. Tell me you don't feel this thing between us. Tell me to walk away, Sophia, and I will. But don't lie to yourself about what this is." She couldn't. Because he was right. Whatever this was, it was real and terrifying and completely insane. "What are we going to do?" "We're going to destroy him." Miho's smile was sharp. "Legally, publicly, completely. And when we're done, Derek Chen is going to wish he treated you better. Come on. We have a war to start." The drive back to Seoul was tense, Miho making call after call in rapid Korean, his expression getting darker with each conversation. Sophia's phone kept buzzing too. Messages from Derek, from his lawyers, from people she hadn't heard from in years suddenly concerned about her relationship with a known criminal. "They're trying to paint you as dangerous," she said after reading another message. "I am dangerous. Just not to you." He glanced at her. "Are you having second thoughts?" "I'm having all the thoughts. But walking away isn't one of them." His hand found hers, squeezed. "Good. Because it's about to get messy. Derek's lawyers are filing for divorce on grounds of adultery. They're going to use our dinner, that kiss, probably what happened today if they somehow find out. They're going to try to make you look like the villain. Let them try." Sophia's voice was steel. "I have 5 years of being the perfect wife. 5 years of building my business while he built his affair. 5 years of receipts, evidence, and witnesses who saw him with that woman long before I ever met you. That's my girl." Miho's smile was proud. "I have lawyers too. The best in Seoul. They're already preparing a countersuit. Adultery, emotional abuse, fraud, apparently your husband's been hiding assets in offshore accounts. Money that should have been community property. How do you know that?" "I told you. I'm very thorough." He pulled up to her hotel. "Pack your things. You're not staying here anymore." "Where am I going?" "My penthouse. It's secure, it's comfortable, and I want you close." He must have seen her hesitation because he added, "Separate bedrooms. No pressure." "But I meant what I said. I protect what's mine, and whether you're ready to admit it or not, you're mine now." She should argue. She should insist on independence, on handling this herself, on not jumping from one relationship into another. Instead, she said, "Okay. Give me 30 minutes. His smile was victorious. 20 minutes later, she was packed and heading to the lobby when Derek stepped out of the elevator, blocking her path. "Sophia. We need to talk." "No, we don't. Your lawyers can talk to my lawyers. Please. He looked genuinely distressed, which was almost funny. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But Miho? He's not who you think he is. He's using you to get back at me. For what? What could he possibly want from you, Derek? My company is trying to acquire some properties he owns. This is business to him. Your business to him. Even if that were true, at least he makes me feel valued while he does it. What's your excuse? She tried to step around him. He grabbed her arm. You're my wife. Let go of me. Sophia. The lady asked you to let go. Miho's voice was deadly calm. He stood behind Derek, flanked by two very large men in black suits. I suggest you listen. Derek's hand dropped immediately. This is harassment. No, this is me picking up my girlfriend from a hotel. You grabbing her against her will. That's assault. Which one of us should be worried about legal trouble again? Miho stepped closer, and Derek actually backed up. Touch her again, speak to her again, even look at her wrong, and restraining order or not, you'll discover exactly why people fear me. Understand? Derek nodded, pale. Good. Now leave before I decide legal consequences aren't satisfying enough. Derek practically ran to his car. Sophia stood there, shaking, and Miho immediately pulled her into his arms. Breathe. I've got you. You're safe. This is insane. This is all insane. I know. But we're in it now, so we might as well win. He took her bags, handed them to one of his men, and led her to his car. Come on. Let's go home. Home. His penthouse was in Hanam-dong, all glass and steel and luxury. The view was incredible, the space enormous, and Sophia felt overwhelmed by all of it. Your room is down the hall, Miho said, pointing. Or you can stay in mine. Your choice. Always your choice, Sophia. Give me the tour first. He did, showing her the kitchen, the living spaces, the gym, the office. And finally, his music room, another beautiful piano surrounded by guitars and sound equipment. You have a whole studio. Music is my therapy. Business is my obligation. But this? This is my passion. He sat at the piano again, played a few notes. Stay with me tonight. Not sex, just stay. Let me hold you while you sleep. Let me keep you safe. How could she say no to that? That night, she lay in his arms in his enormous bed, wearing one of his shirts, feeling his heartbeat steady under her ear. Miho. Why me? Really? You could have anyone. Because when I saw you in that lounge, you looked like I felt. Trapped in a life that looked perfect from the outside but felt empty inside. Because when you smiled, really smiled, it felt like the sun coming out. Because you're strong and talented and beautiful and you don't even see it. He tipped her chin up. Because I've been looking for you for a very long time, and I'm not letting you go now that I found you. She kissed him, soft and sweet, and he held her like she was precious. They didn't make love that night. They just held each other, and somehow that felt even more intimate. The war with Derek escalated quickly. His lawyers filed motion after motion, claiming Sophia abandoned the marriage, committed adultery, was unfit for any spousal support. Her lawyers, provided by Miho, fired back with evidence of Derek's 2-year affair, his hidden assets, his emotional abuse. The media had a field day. Art gallery owner in scandalous love triangle with Mafia CEO, the headline screamed. Sophia's galleries actually saw increased traffic, people curious to see the woman at the center of Seoul's most talked about divorce. Through it all, Miho was her rock. He took her to dinner, held her when she cried, made her laugh when the pressure got too much. He introduced her to his world slowly, business dinners where she met powerful people, charity events where she saw his influence, quiet nights where he played piano and she sketched in the corner of his music room. You're drawing again, he noticed one night, looking over her shoulder. You haven't drawn in weeks. I haven't felt inspired in years. You inspire me. She showed him the sketch, his hands on piano keys, strong and elegant. It's beautiful. You're talented. I'm rusty. You're perfect. He kissed her neck, and the sketch pad fell forgotten as he carried her to bed, where he spent hours proving exactly how perfect he found her. 3 weeks into their relationship, Jade finally cornered her at the gallery. Okay, spill everything. Are you really dating Kong Miho? Is he really in the Mafia? Is the sex as good as he looks like it would be? Sophia laughed. Yes, I don't know, and better. Girl. Jade grabbed her hands. But seriously, are you safe? Derek's been telling everyone who'll listen that Miho is dangerous. He is dangerous. Just not to me. And you're okay with that? Honestly? Yes. Miho's been more honest with me in 3 weeks than Derek was in 5 years. He doesn't hide who he is or what he does. And he makes me feel cherished. When was the last time Derek made me feel anything but invisible? Jade hugged her. Then I'm happy for you. Terrified, but happy. Just promise you'll be careful. I promise. That night, she came home to Miho's penthouse, when had she started calling it home, to find him in his office, expression thunderous. What's wrong? Derek's mistress. The pregnancy is fake. She's been lying, trying to trap him into marriage. Miho handed her a file. My investigators found her medical records. She's not pregnant. Never was. Oh my God. There's more. Derek found out. He fired her, threatened to sue her for fraud. And she came to me, offering to testify against him in your divorce. Apparently, he's been cooking the books at his company, embezzling funds. She helped him and kept records. Why would she help us? Because I'm paying her very well to disappear after she testifies. And because Derek threatened her when she tried to blackmail him with the fake pregnancy. Miho pulled her into his lap. With her testimony, you'll get everything. The penthouse, half his company, alimony. He'll be ruined. Is that wrong? That I want him ruined? No, baby. That's justice. He kissed her softly. But you need to be sure. Once we do this, there's no going back. He'll lose everything, possibly face criminal charges. Are you ready for that? Sophia thought about 5 years of being taken for granted. 5 years of Derek's dismissiveness, his affair, his audacity to ask for an open marriage on their anniversary. The humiliation, the pain, the casual cruelty. I'm ready. Burn it all down. Miho's smile was fierce. That's my queen. If you've made it this far, you're the real MVP. Drop a like and subscribe if you want more stories like this. And comment below, do you think Derek deserves what's coming? Let me know your thoughts and let's get to the explosive finale. The divorce hearing was set for a Wednesday morning. Sophia wore white, a power suit that made her look invincible. Miho insisted on coming, sitting in the gallery with Jade and several of his people. The statement was clear, Sophia wasn't alone. Derek sat at the plaintiff's table with his lawyers, looking haggard. He'd lost weight, the stress showing. When he saw Miho, his face went pale. The hearing started, and it was brutal. Derek's lawyers presented their case. Sophia had abandoned the marriage, taken up with a criminal, showed no interest in reconciliation. Then Sophia's lawyers began. They presented evidence of Derek's affair, receipts from hotels, testimony from staff who'd seen him with his secretary. They showed the offshore accounts, the embezzled money. And then they brought in the secretary herself. She testified for 2 hours, laying out everything. The affair, the fake pregnancy, Derek's financial crimes, his threats. By the time she was done, Derek's lawyers were scrambling. Your Honor, Sophia's lawyer stood. We move for full dissolution of the marriage, full asset division in favor of Mrs. Chen, and alimony based on Mr. Chen's hidden income, which we calculate at. The number made people in the gallery gasp. It was substantial. The judge looked at Derek with disgust. Mr. Chen, do you have anything to say for yourself? Derek stood, looking at Sophia. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter now, but I'm so sorry. I took you for granted. I was a fool. And you found someone who sees what I was too stupid to value. I hope he treats you better than I did. It was the most honest thing he'd said in years. Sophia felt tears prick her eyes, but not of sadness. Of closure. Divorce granted, the judge announced. Asset division as requested. Mr. Chen, you're also ordered to appear before a criminal investigation regarding the financial irregularities. This hearing is adjourned. Just like that, it was over. Miho was waiting outside the courtroom, and Sophia walked straight into his arms. He held her tight, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "It's done. You're free. You won." "We won," she corrected. "No, baby. This was all you. I just provided support." He pulled back, studying her face. "How do you feel?" "Like I can finally breathe." They celebrated that night at his mountain house, just the two of them. Miho cooked, badly, making her laugh as he nearly burned the pasta, and they ate on the floor, drinking wine and talking about the future. "Move in with me," he said suddenly. "Officially. Not just staying at my place. Live with me. Build a life with me. Miho, we've known each other for less than 2 months. And I've been in love with you for most of it." He said it so casually, like it was obvious. "I love you, Sophia. I love your strength, your talent, your heart. I love how you look in the morning, how you hum when you're happy, how you fit perfectly in my arms. Move in with me. Let me love you every day." Her heart felt too big for her chest. "I love you too. It's crazy and fast and probably reckless, but I love you. Yes. Yes, I'll move in with you." His kiss was celebrating and claiming and perfect. They made love in front of the fireplace, slow and sweet and intense, and Sophia felt like every broken piece of her heart was being put back together better than before. 1 month later, Sophia stood in her newly expanded gallery, looking at the exhibit she'd curated. It was her grandmother's paintings, finally being shown to the world, alongside new artists she'd discovered. The opening was packed, the art world buzzing, and she felt proud in a way she never had. Miho stood across the room, talking to investors, looking gorgeous in a dark suit. He caught her eye and winked, and she smiled. "He's good for you," Jade said, appearing at her elbow. "I've never seen you this happy. I didn't know I could be this happy." "And Derek?" "Last I heard, he took a plea deal. Probation, fines, community service. His company survived but barely. He sold the penthouse." Sophia felt nothing but distant pity. "He's not my problem anymore." "And Miho's business? The rumors about what he actually does are probably true. But he keeps that world separate from me. I don't ask, he doesn't tell, and I trust him to be smart." Sophia squeezed her friend's hand. "I know it's not perfect. But it's real. And it's mine." As if summoned, Miho appeared, sliding an arm around her waist. "The exhibit is incredible. Your grandmother would be proud. Thank you. For everything. For supporting this, for believing in me, for loving you. That's not something you need to thank me for. That's a privilege." He kissed her temple. "Come with me for a minute. I want to show you something." He led her to a corner of the gallery she'd designated for installations. There, covered with a cloth, was something new. "What is this?" "Pull the cloth." She did, and gasped. It was a piano, beautiful and sleek, designed to be art as much as instrument. And on it, a placard, donated by Kong Miho, in honor of Sophia Chen, who showed him that second chances can lead to first loves. Miho. I want you to have music here. I want people to play, to create, to find joy the way I found joy with you. He turned her to face him. I want a lot of things, actually. I want to wake up next to you for the rest of my life. I want to support your dreams and build new ones together. I want to give you everything you deserve and things you haven't even thought to ask for. He pulled a box from his pocket and Sophia's breath caught. I know it's fast. I know we did everything backward. But I'm not a patient man, and I'm not interested in waiting when I know what I want. He opened the box, revealing a stunning ring, a diamond surrounded by smaller stones that caught the light like stars. Marry me, Sophia. Not because you're running from something, but because you're running toward everything we can be together. Marry me and let me spend every day proving you made the right choice. Tears streamed down her face. Happy tears, shocked tears, overwhelmed tears. Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. He slid the ring on her finger, kissed her as the gallery erupted in applause around them. People were watching, cameras were flashing, and tomorrow the headlines would be wild. Sophia didn't care. She'd gone from a marriage that felt like a prison to a love that felt like freedom. From a husband who asked for an open marriage to a man who wanted to be hers completely. I love you, she whispered against Miho's lips. I love you more. And I'm going to prove it every single day. He grinned. Starting with a honeymoon. Where do you want to go? Anywhere. Everywhere. I don't care as long as I'm with you. Perfect answer. He kissed her again, and somewhere in the background, she heard Jade screaming with excitement, heard the murmur of the crowd, felt the weight of her new ring. But mostly, she felt loved. Chosen. Free. 6 months ago, Derek had asked for an open marriage and destroyed their relationship. 24 hours later, the Korean Mafia CEO had shown up and became his worst nightmare. But more importantly, he becomes Sophia's greatest dream. And as she stood in Miho's arms, surrounded by art and love and possibility, she knew that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you leads you to the best thing you never knew you needed. 3 months after the engagement, Sophia and Miho stood on a beach in Jeju Island, surrounded by close friends and family. The wedding was small, intimate, perfect. Jade was crying, Miho's brother was making jokes, and as the sun set over the ocean, they exchanged vows. I promise to love you fiercely, Miho said, his voice thick with emotion. To protect you always. To support your dreams and build new ones with you. To never take you for granted, to never make you feel invisible, to spend every day showing you exactly how precious you are to me. I promise to trust you, Sophia replied, tears streaming freely. To love you completely. To build a life with you that's real and messy and beautiful. To never settle for less than everything, because you showed me I deserve everything. They kissed as husband and wife, and Sophia felt like she was exactly where she was meant to be. Later, at the reception, Miho pulled her onto the dance floor, holding her close as a pianist played something slow and romantic. Happy, he murmured. Ridiculously happy. Almost disgustingly happy. Good. That's my job now. Making you disgustingly happy. He spun her, dipped her, made her laugh. I have a wedding gift for you. Miho, you already gave me the honeymoon house. This is different. He nodded to his brother, who brought over an envelope. Open it. Inside were documents. Legal documents. What is this? The deed to the building next to your gallery. I bought it. You've been talking about expanding, about having space for classes, for community art programs. Now you have it. She stared at him, overwhelmed. This is too much. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. He cupped her face. You gave me everything, Sophia. You gave me love, purpose, a reason to be better. Let me give you this. Let me give you the world. I don't need the world. I just need you. Lucky for me, you have both. He kissed her softly. I love you, Mrs. Khan. I love you too. She pulled back, grinning. Though I'm keeping Chen professionally. The gallery is established under that name. Keep whatever makes you happy. Just keep me too. Always. As they danced under the stars, Sophia thought about the journey that brought her here. The pain of betrayal, the risk of trusting again, the courage it took to choose herself. She thought about Derek, hoping he found his own peace, his own growth. She held no more anger, only gratitude that his worst decision led her to her best life. What are you thinking about? Miho asked. How grateful I am. For all of it. Even the hard parts. Because they led me to you. Fate, he said simply. You believe in fate. I believe in us. Everything else is just details. He pulled her closer, whispered in her ear, ready to start our honeymoon? What did you have in mind? His smile was wicked. I have a very detailed list. It starts with getting you out of this dress and ends approximately 3 days from now when we finally leave the honeymoon suite. She laughed, heat flooding through her. That sounds perfect. You sound perfect. You are perfect. He led her off the dance floor toward their waiting car. Come on, wife. Let me show you exactly how a husband should treat his queen. As they drove away, Jade's voice echoed after them, go get it, girl. And film a sequel to this story because wow. Sophia collapsed into giggles, Miho shaking his head fondly. Your friend is insane. Your friend now too. You married me, you get the whole package. Best deal I ever made. He raised her hand to his lips, kissed her ring finger. Best decision I ever made was walking over to you that night in the lounge. Best decision I made was not running away when you told me you'd researched me. That was creepy in hindsight. Extremely creepy. Also effective. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Take me home, husband. Which one? We have 4 now. The mountain house. I want quiet and you and nothing else for at least 3 days. Your wish is my command. He instructed the driver, then pulled her into his lap. I'm going to make love to you until you forget your own name. Bold claim. You doubt me? Never. She kissed him deeply. I love you, Kong Miho. Thank you for showing up exactly when I needed you. Thank you for being brave enough to let me in. He held her close as they drove into the night, toward their future, toward everything they'd build together. This is just the beginning, baby. The best is yet to come. And as Sophia settled into his arms, her ring catching the moonlight, she knew he was right. This was just the beginning of their story. A story that started with betrayal but transformed into the greatest love she'd ever known. Derek had asked for an open marriage and lost everything. The Korean Mafia CEO had shown up and gained a wife, a partner, a love that would last a lifetime. And Sophia? She'd lost a husband who never valued her and found a man who treasured her. She'd traded a marriage of convenience for a love of choice. She'd walked through fire and come out stronger, braver, and finally, completely happy. Sometimes the worst day of your life is just the setup for the best chapter. Sometimes the ending is really a beginning. And sometimes, when you're brave enough to walk away from what hurts you, you walk straight into the arms of everything you deserve. Alright beautiful people, we've reached the end of this incredible journey. If this story gave you all the feels, made you believe in second chances, or just entertained you for the last hour, do me a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button so you never miss another story. Hit the like button if you loved Sophia and Miho's love story. And drop a comment telling me what you thought, what you'd like to see next, or just let me know you were here for this wild ride. Your girl Sophia went from a cheating husband to a mafia king who worships her, and honestly, that's the energy we're bringing into this new season. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Love you all.